Welcome into the Verdin Verdict Sports Show. I'm your guy, Jacob Verdin, joined by my guy, G Sports G. This is the first time in the Verdin Verdict history that we have done a show 1-0. Congratulations, BK. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. 1-0. G, give me, how are you feeling? Are you on cloud nine? Are you excited? Are you proud? What's the takeaways?
Finally got the monkey off their back. Winning that first game in 5 years. You knew that it was a lot of sense of urgency coming into Clemson to get this done, man. If they would have lost this game, you would have heard a whole lot of people in the media, the fans, alumni, calling for Brian Kelly job
Everybody.
because you know that you still got to go through a brutal SEC schedule. So to see them go on the road, go through all the adversity they had to go through with the fumble on the first drive with Bar Sharp and Clemson going all the way down and getting inside the red zone, and to be able to overcome what happened right before halftime with Chris Hilton fumbling on 4th and 2
Yep.
and not getting 3 points out of that and still win the game. You know, that was two things I was going to kind of turn back to why they probably lost the game. I thought that was two critical turnovers that could have costed them not to lead Death Valley and with a victory, bro. So, all in all, they found a way to win. It wasn't pretty, and the scary part is, they only will get better from this.
Exactly. Week 1, you got to iron out a lot of kinks, like, the Trudez Green false start, the Berrien Brown illegal motion. Like, you're not going to see that in week 2, week 3, week 4, as you get more accustomed to it. It came to play, bro. They covered the +4 spread. That was our pick of the week. Come on, y'all. We starting off 1-0, baby. We undefeated. Nussmeier, SEC Offensive Player of the Week. Braylon Moore, SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. The defense showed up, bro. They played exactly as we thought, quite frankly. Hair on fire, all over the place. Made Cade Klubnik sweat, dog. Like, he didn't know who was coming. I mean, bro, opening drive. PJ Willen, 5'10", through the B gap. Pew! Done. Let me have him. Gotta have him. PJ Willen stock going all the way up. Look, these are my keys for the game, G. This is what I was saying. I wanted a balanced offensive approach, mix in that run game. It was slow at first, but Caden Durham got him 75 yards at the end of the game. So it made it work. You got the victory. You were able to kind of build from it. I'm going to ask you about the run game here in a minute. I wanted them also to get creative with that rushing the quarterback. How are you going to use Harold Perkins? How are you going to be able to disguise him, mix him in and out, make Cade Klubnik sweat, boy? And they did that 100%. Last one was game management. Like you were saying, the 4th and 2, I was a little skeptical on passing on the field goal. I would have took the points. That's me, though. I'm not the riskiest, if you will. If I'm playing CFB, bro, I'm trying. Hey, I need the easy points. Come on. We need to keep the main thing. Stick to the fundamentals. 10 points, quite frankly, were left out there, G, because that Berrien Brown play.
Oh,
that was a touchdown, big dog.
Horrible overturn.
Like,
horrible.
Bro, how do you go from, is it at the 1 or is it a touchdown, to now we're talking about, did he even catch the ball? Like, I don't understand. That was one of the weirdest calls I've ever seen. Quite frankly, I'm going to bring this up too. The first half was weird because at halftime, LSU was beating them in total yards, in first downs, but the scoreboard didn't reflect that. Obviously, you had the fumbles, the turnovers, but the ability to come out, adjust defensively, especially, and shut them out in the second half. I mean, that's depth on display. The fact that Blake Baker's a head coach quality coordinator, like, bro, you gonna have to lock him in a room in Baton Rouge to make sure he don't leave, bro. Because I mean, what he's showing, everybody had a piece of the pie on Saturday night. What was your takeaways from the defense, the run game, and just the overall new look LSU Tigers that everybody is clamoring about at this point?
Off the back, you have to notice how creative Joe Sloan was in the run game, doing a great job of taking Xavier from the receiver spot, motioning him to the backfield. Xavier had some key plays from the backfield. I mean, Caden Durham did a great job, had averaged over 4 yards a carry. I know he didn't break the 100-yard mark, but he did a great job of getting those tough yards when they needed, that tough touchdown in the red zone. Things like that is what you didn't see from last year. And even with the trickeration, the reverse pass from Xavier and Aaron. I think if Xavier throw it a little better pass, Aaron probably scoring it. So I was really impressed with how Joe Sloan dialed it up all night, getting us out the pocket, rolling him out.
Yep.
He just did a great job of knowing what Clemson defense was going to try to do and having a counter to it. And you could tell Nuss was the experienced quarterback in this game, right? On the road, you could see that he wasn't flustered. You could tell that he wasn't nervous. He was ready for everything that Clemson threw at him. And that's what you expected, right? We
Mhm.
talked about it during SEC media days. Everybody picking Texas and they picking Alabama because of Arch Manning and Ty Simpson, right? But what we kept saying the whole time in Atlanta, y'all gonna
Experience.
pick two quarterbacks that haven't started a game in the SEC over Nussmeier, who's been through the fire. I felt like that was very disrespectful from a lot of people thinking that LSU was going to be the fourth best team in the SEC when they had the only returning starter out of the top teams they picked and was supposed to finish in the front.
Right.
So,
Even Georgia. All
yeah,
three of them.
yeah. Kudos to the offensive line. What was my biggest question marks coming into the spring and into fall camp? Knew they had the talent, but how were they going to gel together?
Mhm.
We didn't know. Well, you saw they kept Nuss clean all night. They did a good job of coming off that ball, being able to get them tough yards when they needed it in the run game. And I thought that Aaron Anderson clearly showed that he is wide receiver one. Right?
Yeah.
Everybody started talking about Barry Brown coming in from Kentucky. You're talking about Nick Anderson. I've been saying all along that Aaron Anderson was going to be wide receiver one, and he showed it. 6 catches for
Yep.
99 yards. You might as well say he had 100. Let's just go ahead and give him the 100, right?
Yeah.
He showed it, and some of the catches that he made, I mean, sticky hands. Some of them catches was low and away from his body, and he was able to come down with some tough catches on third down. You could tell him and Nuss got that chemistry. It's going to be hard for a lot of defenses to be able to stop one week in and week out, especially when you talk about the weapons they got around them.
I was about to say, yeah, now you're going to have to stop one, then you're going to have to stop 14. And then if you stop both of them somehow, some way, you got like 6 other baskets you could throw out there. You got Xavier Thomas come out in the backfield. I mean,
For sure.
yeah, Joe
For
Sloan
sure.
turned up.
And in the red zone, you better expect this all year long. When quads bunch to the boundary, put Trey Daniels on the backside by itself, why they left him one-on-one? Because when I see that, I see one on bum.
Bro, he ain't even 6 foot. Yeah, like, bro, what we talking about? It's a 9-inch disadvantage. Like,
I was thinking it was going to take the safety off the middle of the field and shade him to Trey Daniels' side. But obviously, they had that much confidence in Terrell. And he's a good player. When you talk about 6'7" versus 5'11", just throw it up, bro. And you saw early in the game when they tried to go find Trey Daniels. I think it was on a wheel route or something he ran, and it was pass interference. Because the average corner, the average safety in college football won't be able to match up with Trey Daniels. He's too big, too athletic. He could run for his size. That's going to be something you're going to see all year long. And defense is going to have to be able to adjust to that. If you're going to leave Trey Daniels one-on-one, I mean, just strike up the band.
If you're going to leave him one-on-one, you need a sanity check.
Strike up the band. Strike up the band.
Strike it up.
I was impressed with the special teams. You know, I know Ramos missed the field goal, but he made a key 52-yarder early in the first half that I thought that was critical to get them on the board and get their confidence going. I like what Blake did on the defensive side of the ball, coming with some 3 safety looks. It was a lot of packages he showed with Deshaun Spears, Tamarcus Cooley, and Halsey in the game. He had Halsey playing that robber spot where he was manned up and he let Halsey just kind of roam in the middle of the field and kind of play football. Well, people got to understand why Blake is going to be so good with these toys he has to play with. They ran a lot of cover 2 last year. He couldn't run a lot of man-to-man with the personnel he had, and he didn't have the pass rush he got this year. This year, you're going to see a lot of exotic looks, a lot of different packages that people did not see last year. So it's going to be hard for offensive coordinators to be able to game plan against Blake and what he's trying to do because he has new personnel and he's able to run some different things that you haven't seen. And I just think that the defense is only going to get better. Shout out to Mansour Delane. Is his stock rising or not? I think they said they had like 12 to 15 NFL teams in the building in Clemson. Bro, I can tell you right now, they talking about first round pick right now. If he continues to play the way he played on Saturday night, I can see him going in the top 15, top 20 in the draft. I mean, they left him one-on-one on an island plenty of times on Saturday night, and he held his own, bro. I just think this defense is playing at a high level. Can't wait to see when they insert people like Ashton Stamps, who I didn't see play a snap on Saturday night.
I was about to ask you that. What? I thought it would be Mansour and Ashton. And you saw
PJ Woolen got the start at the outside.
PJ Woolen stock. Boom, boom, boom.
And look, Jakeem Jackson, another corner that transferred from Florida. He didn't even play. So that's what we talked about all offseason, bro. A lot of competitive depth. I just think that this defense just has a lot of playmakers on all three levels, on the D line, the linebacker position, and in the secondary. And when you got playmakers like that, bro, you could be aggressive like Blake was on Saturday night. The offense, I know people saying, man, we got all these weapons, only scored 17 points. Look, bro, the number one thing I took away from that game was Nussmeier's decision making. Last year, that's what we questioned a lot. You know, he was a high risk, high reward kind of quarterback. You could see that Nussmeier has grown in that area. Now, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment and say he's gonna make those kind of decisions week in and week out. But for him to go on the road at Clemson and don't throw any boneheaded picks, I don't remember a play in the game where I was like, "What the hell are you thinking about, Nuss?"
Right.
I don't remember seeing a play like that. Not to my memory. And if he's playing like that and protecting the ball and he's not turning it over, LSU gonna be tough to beat. And as of today, call me prisoner of the moment all you want, but LSU is the best team in the SEC from what I saw on Saturday night. When you talk about what you've seen from Texas, when you talk about what you've seen from Alabama, yeah, I know Florida is a team that I say is a sleeper, but they play at Long Island, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really get too much from that. I think that week 3 matchup in Death Valley and Baton Rouge against Florida, I think that's going to be a great game to watch to see who could possibly be one of the best teams in the SEC after that game. Because I think Florida's going to be right there. And people laughed at me when I said Florida's going to be a sleeper, but I think Florida's going to be above Bama and Texas. Now, when you talk about Texas, I do think they're gonna get it right. I think they're gonna get better. I think ours gonna get better. So I just can't wait to see how the rest of the season plays out, bro. LSU looking like they're on fire. Everybody jumping on a bandwagon. It's gonna be fun to watch.
The next 5 games, LA Tech, Florida, Southeastern, Ole Miss, South Carolina. I want to go out on a limb here. This goes without saying. I hope I don't have to explain this much. If you go 5-0 and you beat those 4 teams, which are all going to be ranked, who's denying you the number 1 spot in the country? The number 1 spot in every poll, college football, coaches, AP, the Jacob Verdin poll, the G Sports poll. Every poll in the nation should have LSU at number 1 if they go through this gauntlet. Let's talk about these SEC rankings, though. You brought up Texas. You brought up Alabama. Interesting week of college football. You never know what you're going to get. Never know what you're going to get. Texas losing to Ohio State, that makes sense. Alabama to Florida State, that don't make as much.
Never would have guessed it.
No. Bro, Lee Corso, what the hell? Lee Corso got every damn game right. Lee Corso went 7 for 7. That I had to give Coach props on that one. He picked every damn game. But Alabama, they don't look like their usual selves, bro. If you see on Twitter, you got all kind of rumors floating around. Oh, the board's losing the team. They're not bought in. They're talking about buyouts. They're already out. They're done. They're done with the experience. And that's the SEC. Like, we were just talking about Brian Kelly. Everybody calling for his job and everybody getting pissed off with him. I just want to ask you, though, do you think Alabama's cooked and they're kind of going down toward like a not mid, but like not a contender every year type team in the SEC? Like, we went to SEC Media Days and everybody's throwing Alabama's name in the hat. Next year or the year after, are they going to kind of start pulling back and being like, hey, I ain't believing it. I ain't drinking the Kool-Aid.
One of the number one things that I noticed about watching Bama on Saturday against Florida State was the lack of physicality. And if you remember anything about a Nick Saban program, physicality is not something they ever lacked. And the way they wasn't able to run the ball on Saturday, that the first drive of the game, that was the best they looked the whole entire game. When they couldn't move Florida State and run the ball, I knew they was in trouble, because now you have to rely on an inexperienced quarterback to lead you to the promised land. And I know that was going to be tough on him. And look, Ty Simpson didn't have a bad game for statistical wise. I mean, I think he threw for 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. He didn't throw any picks, but it was a lot of times where they was coming with some different looks, and you could tell he was getting confused. He was holding on to the ball a little long, right? He was missing some of his receivers on some routes. Ryan Williams had a couple drops. You could just tell they didn't have any chemistry. But I think the number one thing that should bother a lot of people, if you're a Bama fan, is the lack of physicality in the trenches, bro. And if that's going to be something that's going to be a common theme for them this year, Bama going to probably lose by 3 to 4 games.
It ain't even is that, and it's also, bro, like, there was a couple clips people were playing on film. I think it was Emmanuel H.O. Bro, jogging all over the field, dog. Like, nobody trying to make an angle tackle, nobody trying to go get nothing. They're just sitting there like, ah, shit. I think it was on one of Jay Luke's, but by the way, Try Paris stand up. Shout out J. Luke. 88 total yards, man. That's a big time moment, and he stood up. But like, bro, no effort on Alabama's side. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. I don't know if it's a culture change. I ain't around the building. I don't know. But they do got time to
Alabama
change.
defense looked like they was not prepared for what Gus Malzahn was gonna run at them, bro.
Yeah, shout out Gus, boy.
200, what they had 280 yards rushing or something like that. They averaged 6 yards a carry. That's ridiculous, bro. That's unacceptable.
Castellanos called it, though. Everybody, when they heard that quote, they stopped for a second. They're like, what? Nick Saban can't come save y'all? Are y'all tripping? Nah. Like, he knew he saw it coming from a mile away. Some people call it cocky. I'm going to call it confident, bro. He knew it. He knew he was ready for the moment. Texas and Ohio State. All right, let's talk about this Arch Manning hype because it was under the microscope, dog. Now, we've been talking about we don't think he's going to be a one-and-done type player because that's rare. I even looked it up. The only big names that started one season and went to the NFL, Cam Newton, Kyler Murray. Then you got names like Mitch Trubisky and shit like that. Bro, it's very, very hard to get polished in one college football season. And not only that, though, but you got to think about these variables. We're sitting here talking about draft stock. How about the fact that Texas can offer him the same salary he'll probably make in his rookie year? Or you don't even need the money to begin with, but the money is just going to be an extra point in that regard. They're always going to be competitive because you got a nice little collective. You got Sark. You got a good program. I guess I say this to say, if it don't work out for Arch in year one, a year two it ain't getting worse. And like you were saying, he's going to get better. This is week one. There were a couple of moments, though, where it didn't look good. And it was a battle of defenses. And I'll credit Texas's defense right now, too, because they kept them in it for a long time. Matter of fact, they had an opportunity to win it at the end. And then Ryan Wingo drops it on 4th down, yada, yada, yada. I say this to say, though, it's shocking to me because, yeah, you have two quarterbacks making their first debut, and everybody kind of forgot that Ohio State's guy was debuting as well because all the focus was on Arch Manning. I don't know how I feel about Texas, though. I feel like I'm kind of in a limbo period, G. I don't know if I'm going to put them at number one in the SEC or number two because this is still the defending national champions that they lost to, but LSU's so damn hot. Like, if we had this, rank LSU in the AP poll, I'd put them at 3, and I'd put Texas at 4, but I'm having a real tug of war in my head about who I'm going to give that to. I think they're really close in this regard. But with 4 of the top 8 losing, it's about to shake up, bro. It's
just unfortunate that Arch had to have his first start on the road at the shoe, bro, against the defending national champions, what probably a top 3 defense in the country, versus somebody like Gunnar Stockton who got a chance to play his first game as a starter at home against Marshall.
Yeah,
that's just the hand he was dealt. I think people are overreacting to how Arch played. I think Arch is going to get better. When you look back around week 5, week 6, you're going to start to see him hit his stride. I still don't feel like he's somebody that's going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate. I still don't feel like Arch is going to be somebody that's going to be a top 5, top 10 pick in the draft. I just don't see it in year one. He's going to have to go through his growing pains and go through his trials and tribulations in year one. And next year, I can see him being the best quarterback in college football.
Mm-hmm.
The only way Texas is going to have an opportunity and have a chance to win the SEC, they're going to have to run the ball at a high level, and their defense is going to have to play lights out. And look, their defense played lights out against Ohio State. They did a great job. I want to say Jeremiah Smith only had like 30 yards receiving. They had a great plan going into that game. But I think Sarkisian understands that this is going to be a process with Arch. He knows that. And if anybody's surprised that Arch ain't go out there and sling it all over the field and throw for 300-some yards, I don't know what you've been watching over the last 10+ years. It's too hard to go on the road in an environment like that with no experience and think you about to go out there and just throw it all over the field and your receiver's gonna catch for a whole bunch of yards. You're gonna throw for a whole bunch of tutties. It just wasn't gonna happen. I felt like the only chance they was gonna have to win this game, bro, was gonna be able to run the ball at a high level. And when I saw that didn't happen, I knew it was gonna be a long night. But Texas, they gonna get better, bro. I think next week they got who they play. They play a slap dick. They don't play nobody too tough. So that's gonna get his confidence up.
San Jose State.
So
brother, they get 3 in a row. San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston.
Right. Then they play Florida, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So and they play them in the swamp.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think people need to pump the brakes on Arch, bro. Let him go through his process this year, and I think you'll see him get better from this.
I'll agree. Let's talk about this AP top 25. Kind of spoiled a little bit of how I'm feeling about Texas. Here's the question, though. I got two of them. One, where do you put LSU? Two, I was a little shocked. This isn't the question. I'm giving some context. I was a little shocked that the AP poll wasn't out yet. And then obviously I remembered, oh shit, we got Monday night college football. You got UNC, you got TCU. My second question, besides where's LSU, does Bill Belichick even have a chance to get ranked? We're holding up the rankings for UNC and TCU. If Bill Belichick wins in Ireland as an underdog, would you rank him 25, 24? Where are you putting it? I mean, look, I'm just saying they holding up the rank.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here wondering, like, are they even gonna have a chance? They might.
Who North Carolina play today?
TCU. They both unranked.
I don't know if I'll put them in the top 25. I would have to really look at all the teams.
They'd have to beat the shit out of them and be at 25.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll put them in the top 25 because the eye test matter too. So I don't really know how good TCU is. They wasn't that good last year, so it's gonna be hard to case that. Even if they win by 21, like, does that really mean North Carolina's a top 25 team? It's hard to say that right now.
Little reaction period. What about LSU? Where would you put them?
They ranked at 8 right now.
9. Beating
9. Yeah, I think they should be in the top 5 for sure.
If they're not a top 5, G. If they're not a top 5, we should never, ever, ever look at the AP poll again. The AP poll will lose all credibility if LSU's not a top 5 team.
Yeah, they should be in the top 5, bro. They should be in the top 5.
I'd put them, 3 or 4. I wouldn't put them 5. I'd put them a little higher. I ain't gonna lie. Just because of how many teams lost. If you didn't have that much swing, then
yeah.
Tough. But the swing, holy shit. You see Notre Dame, Bama, Texas, Clemson. Obviously, Clemson losing to LSU. I didn't expect Notre Dame to lose. I ain't gonna lie. That 10-second runoff, bro. That shit hurt. I thought maybe
Miami got a good team, though, man.
CJ Daniels.
And then once again, you got an experienced quarterback like Carson Beck, who's been through the fire at Georgia, bro. You had to know he was gonna come into that game at home. You had to know he was gonna come into that game ready to play, especially how his season ended last year at Georgia, bro. He just self-motivated, and you could tell his experience was gonna show up in that game, and it showed up in the right moments, bro.
Yeah, he played through that emotion, though. You can see it after. He was about to tear up, and then throughout the entire game, he's celebrating, getting hype. That CJ Daniels catch, though, way back, like what? That's got to be the coldest catch of this season. I don't know. I mean, I know we week 1, like it's the earliest you could do it. I don't know if the moment or the catch will get bigger. I mean, that was a big time situation for Miami. I mean, CJ Daniels, holy shit, way to make a name. I ain't gonna lie. GOG in the chat, this is his rankings. Ohio State 1, Penn State 2, Georgia 3, Miami 4, LSU 5. These are mine. I would do Ohio State at 1. I'd do Penn State at 2. Ohio State beat Texas. They got to take 1. Penn State stays at 2. I ain't penalizing them for winning their game. 3, that's where I'm going to slide LSU. 4, I put Texas behind them. That's my limbo period. And then 5, I'll throw in Georgia. Because like you said, Georgia, I mean, look, they didn't lose, but they also didn't really.
On the ones I would switch, I would put LSU at 4 and Miami at 5.
Okay. Yeah, no, Miami deserves it too now. Miami's a sleeper because in the ACC, I don't see any other team ahead of them. Clemson just dropped.
And that Notre Dame team good, bro. Don't be they going to be in the 12-team playoff. I can promise you that.
That defense is phenomenal because they almost answered the bell.
And look, CJ Carr, look, to say that was his first game starting, bro, he didn't look bad. He looked
mobile too. At first, I was worried about the mobility, but nah, he
did not look bad. He made some plays. I think that he's going to be someone that we talking about next year as one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Like, if you could do that at Miami on the road in your first game starting, bro, he got some potential. I like CJ Carr, and I like the pieces they got around him.
I agree. Yeah, I'm in such an interesting point right now because after that LSU game, after the whole I'm watching the entire nation say, "Oh, this is the number 1 team. LSU's here to stay. They're a playoff caliber team." I'm trying to regulate my emotions. I'm trying to make sure, like, all right, I can't get too hype. I can't let it get to me. LA Tech this weekend, I'm gonna be all right. I'm expecting a little bit of depth getting out there. You might be able to see Michael Van Buren. You're gonna see a little bit more Harlem Barry. You're gonna see some creativity. When Florida come around, if they beat Florida, it's gonna be almost undeniable. that this is one of the top teams.
And see, this is the difference I want to see this year with this group. Last year you played Nicholls State. It's close majority of the game. South Alabama, game close for too damn long. Year before that, you played Grambling. Game was kind of close up until like the middle of the third quarter. The year before that, I think they played Southern, right?
Yep.
That game kind of got out of hand. If I'm not mistaken, because Nuss threw a pick 6 in that game.
And the UCLA game was tied at half too.
Yeah. So I'm looking, and this is no disrespect to Louisiana Tech, but I'm looking for LSU to set a goddamn statement against Tech and show the world they shouldn't even be on the same field as us. They better win this game by 28 or more.
Bro, talk about, I ain't gonna lie. I want to see a 50 ball. 50 ball.
Know what I'm saying? But they should win the game by 28 points or more.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, no, I'm agreeing with
we shouldn't see what we saw against Nicholls last year when the game kind of going down to the wire and Nicholls running back Colin Guggenheimer rushing for 130 yards and busting 70-yard runs. We shouldn't see that on Saturday against Louisiana Tech.
Nah, I looked at the team record in this series, bro. It's 19-1. You know when the last time LA Tech got the dub was, G? 1905. You ain't even have a World War yet, brother. You ain't have one of them. We're talking about way back, throwback. Appreciate everybody in the chat right now. I want y'all to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, go follow my guy G on Twitter. Got all his social medias linked in my description. Jonathan Young, appreciate the support, dude. Appreciate that. Got Buckeye in the chat. Impressed. They played with a defense. Yeah, look, hey, everybody was doubting G. All right, I want to dial it back to this because I remember we were talking about the transfer portal. When we were reacting to all the moves and all the additions, I was saying next year, LSU's defense could be the side of the ball people are talking about. We've been fixated on the offense so long, but this is finally the period where Blake Baker can get to put that mad scientist cap on and do the PJ Willen third down rush, have the man coverage with Mansour Delane on an island, have the rotation of edges, Pyburn, Relaford, Patrick Payton, Jamari Butler. I mean, bro, I could go on and on and on. Bernard Gooden is a dog as well. Like this defense for LSU, it could be one of their best defenses since shit. Do I want to say 2019, G? I say 2021 or 2019 because 2021 went bad, but this defense right here, it feels different, bro. It really does.
Listen. I tweeted about it. This is the first year LSU can run man-to-man on the back end consistently since 2020 when they had Stingley and Cordell Flight. And I think they had Jay Ward too on the back end with them. That is LSU's staple, and it's been a staple. This is how they got the nickname DBU.
Yep.
And when you could run man-to-man like that on the back end, you could do so many things schematically. And you saw that on Saturday night from Blake Baker. And it's only going to get nastier, bro. It's only going to get nastier. And when you got somebody like A.J. Halsey, who was a ball-hawking machine, Tamarcus Cooley, who got that versatility, could play the nickel and play safety.
T-Mac hip toss somebody. Slammed him.
It's going to be nasty, bro. And I know LSU fans don't want to hear this. But if this defense keep playing the way they playing and you stop an offense like Clemson with all the weapons they got at receiver and a quarterback who they talking about going to be a first-round pick, Blake Baker going to be a hot name at season's end to be a head coach of somebody's program.
1 million%. Because he was last year with the potential Tulane job. Now, I ain't gonna lie. There's so many domino effects that can happen because if Summerall takes a job that opens up, you're worrying about
Summerall name hot. Look, if Belichick don't come out the woodwork and take that North Carolina job, everybody was saying how Summerall was about to get the North Carolina job.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blake was going to be a front runner for the Tulane job. So, a lot of things can happen. And look, I know the offense didn't score a whole lot of points. But if this offense hits its ceiling how we think they're going to hit, and Nuss throws for about 4,500 yards and 35 tutties, and he's a candidate for a Heisman Trophy, and this team gets to a national championship or in the running for a national championship, Joe Sloan name gonna be hot too. I'm just saying, Tiger fans be expecting it. I'm just saying.
That's the blessing and the curse of being the top team, G. Alabama had to deal with that shit. The constant poaching, the coaching tree that Nick Saban put out there, dog. Are you still watching it right now? Hey, I want to get your reaction to two things. I saw you tweet, but one, this made me think of it. Micah Parsons trade, and Floby's in the chat. I know you're a Cowboys fan, Floby. I need to hear your reaction to this. And two, I did not know that Matt LaFleur coached with Brian Kelly at Central Michigan and at Notre Dame. That's
Right.
pretty smart. But yeah, Micah Parsons. I saw you said that 2 first-rounders was too much. All right.
No.
What'd you say was too much then? Kenny Clark?
You gave him 2 first-rounders and Kenny Clark, bro.
Okay.
That is entirely way too much. The Cowboys got the best end of the tree.
Okay. The only reason why,
like hands down, bro. Like
the only reason why I'm not rattled. One, like this is my thought process, and I can see where you're coming from with 2 first-rounders because in the NFL it's different. It's not like NBA picks. I get it. NBA, you could dump all your picks and it don't matter. The Packers are really young right now, so it's not the end of the world. And two, this is my logic, and it might be flawed logic, but as a fan, this is how I'm coping, G. In those 2 first rounds that you traded, you're not finding Micah Parsons.
How you know that?
I don't believe you will.
How you know that?
I think it's generational talent. You're right. How do I know that? I can't prove it. It's just something about that gut.
You find some damn good players at the end of the first round, the middle of the first round. You find some damn good players, bro.
Look, you could get someone
you gave up 2 first-round picks, and you gave up Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is one of the best D tackles in the league. But it's a former Pro Bowler, bro. Like
in my head,
that dude played at a high level. That dude gonna help the Cowboys.
I got 3 players in my mind on defense that are game breakers that I would be like, you know what? Gotta have them. Need them. Myles Garrett, number 1. Number 2, I'd say Trey Hendrickson. And at number 3 is Mr. Micah. I'm just lit because now I feel like the Packers actually got a puncher's chance. We got the Rockets trading for Kevin Durant and the Packers trading for Micah Parsons in the same summer. Gee, you just gotta let me bask in the glory right now. This
is not me knocking Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is elite.
Right. I see where you're coming from. You're saying
he's elite of the elite. But bro, I'm not giving up 2 first-round picks and one of the best and a top 7, top 8 D tackle in the league. You're not getting all that from me. And I gotta pay him all his money.
Yeah, what happened right there, more than likely, if I had to put a little guess on it, is that price is getting driven so much, and the Packers are like, screw this shit. We're going to end it right here. No more discussions. It's over with. All in. And here's all the chips.
And let me ask you this. All right. You gave up 2 first-round picks, and you gave up Kenny Clark, and you paying him like he's a quarterback. You paying Micah Parsons like he's a quarterback.
Yeah, it's the highest.
Let me ask you this. Does that move the needle to put the Packers as the favorite to come out the NFC to get to a Super Bowl?
The number 1 team is the Lions. I'm not gonna take that away from them. I'm putting Packers at number 2.
Over the Eagles?
Yeah. Oh, the Eagles aren't in there, brother. It's the Vikings, Lions, Bears, Packers. The Eagles are in the East. The Eagles are with the Cowboys, Giants, and all that.
I said out of the NFC. I ain't said the division.
I thought you said the division.
No,
no,
NFC.
They're not. No, because I got the Eagles are a good team, like you said. The Lions are a good team. I mean, you got opportunities. The Packers, though, if you are in that range in your division, you can fight for a wild card spot. You can get into the playoffs. At that point, all you need is a puncher's chance. The last Super Bowl the Packers won, it was a wild card, and the only Super Bowl the Saints won, it was a wild card. So as long as you get in there, it ain't bad,
bro. They not even bro. Not only are they, this don't move the needle for them to be the best or the second best team in the NFC. This don't even make them the best team in a division. So for me,
it's only because you haven't seen it play out yet. Because it could go either way. With the Lions and the Packers, I can see them splitting the season series, and
listen.
It could be tied.
I'm not making a trade like that unless it was for a quarterback, like a Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert. Who else we got in the league that's really really good? I'm having a brain for Joe Burrow. Jay Daniels.
I was about to make a horrible joke and say Spencer Rattler and see what you would react with.
Josh Allen. Yeah. I'm making a trade like that all day. I'm not gonna trade 2 first-rounders and one of the best D tackles for an edge rusher who's not even gonna put me as the best team in my division. I'm not doing it. The Packers gonna regret that.
I would be worried if they didn't have as much young depth. I think it's a calibrated shot. I can see where you're coming from, but I also think like they're not really gonna be worried about it. I don't know. I could be wrong. We're gonna see. We just have to let it play out. I think the defense got exponentially better though.
Yeah.
You gotta rush. You gotta
Micah
rush.
Parsons is gonna make any defense better, bro.
I
Like
agree. You gotta rush the
that's
passer. And my thing is also too, the Packers don't do shit in the offseason, bro. You hear rumors, you hear murmurs. Nobody want to go to Green Bay, dog. You're gonna have to get drafted to go out there half the time. It's hard to get free agents to go to that market. And I mean, look, it's a cool environment, cool franchise, but it's small. So the fact that we pulled in something like that, I was shocked. Because I heard the rumors of them talking about Micah Parsons. I didn't believe it. I thought it'd be the same shit, like me thinking Giannis is coming to H-Town. I thought my hype or my hopes was going up, and I was gonna get him flushed down the drain. But G, I got Kevin Durant and Micah Parsons in the same offseason. I ain't gonna lie. I've been going through the mud a little bit because we lost Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, all these pieces. And I'm like, man, are we even good? Like you're saying, we not even at the top of our division. I'm like, shit, it's been a long time since I felt like this.
Look, I still think the Packers are a playoff team.
I'm excited to see it. Because now it gives you something to like, all right, I think we got a leg up on y'all because of this. It's an X factor, if you will. And I mean, we been a little minute since we had the X factors that we were comfortable with. So I don't know. I'm excited to see how it goes. But like you were saying, are they the best team in the NFC? No, I agree with that. It'd be hard for you to say that because of how much talent is out there. Because they got a lot of unproven things too. You got question marks all over the place. Shit, you don't know how the Vikings are gonna react with that quarterback play. You got all kind of names that you could throw out there. Buccaneers are a sleeper in the NFC too. I don't think enough people are talking about them. Baker Mayfield though, he gets slept on all the time. I ain't gonna lie. Floby said, "Damn, I know Jacob was a Rockets fan, bro. I'm piecemeal." Variety pack. I got LSU, I got Houston. I got a good explanation for them all, but yeah, I got a nice little mix. Nice little mix. G, you got an interesting mix too, because you got Houston, you got Michigan, Saints. How you became a Michigan fan?
6, 7, 8 years old, watching them on ABC every Saturday morning.
Understand.
Yeah, you know, Charles Woodson, Tom Brady, Braylon Edwards. Like I could go on and on about the different legends that they came through that program, bro. I just remember watching them as a kid, and I just fell in love with that blue and gold and that fight song.
What did you think about Bryce Underwood?
Had a good game. You know, I know they played New Mexico, and I think that's what you have to do for somebody that's coming in year one start, especially as a true freshman. You play a team like New Mexico and get your confidence up, and I think that's going to help him. I want to say they play Oklahoma either next week or week 3.
It's next week, I think. I'm pretty sure because I saw Josh Pate say he's gonna go to Norman next week. Yeah, I think Sharon Moore is suspended.
So right? I can't wait to see how he gonna look against a Brent Venables defense. But having that week 1 game is going to help him out tremendously going into Norman.
Before we get out of here, I can't believe that we almost didn't touch on this, and it's not a shock because we always say wait for the facts. But Tristan Keys, yeah, to Tennessee, writing was on the wall. The Adidas deal was the final straw that broke the camel's back because you saw Adidas congratulate him on the commitment.
LSU fans, I be trying to tell y'all this every time we get so damn excited when somebody commit. When you got a kid, especially when they from out of state, man, don't get too excited about that.
It's like he's using LSU as a stepping stool to get a bigger offer.
Yeah, don't get too excited about that, bro. I'm not even shocked that he flipped like that. I thought it was gonna come down to the end when he did it, though. I didn't think we were gonna do it this early.
As long as you keep Lamar Brown.
Yeah, they'll be fine with Lamar Brown. They'll be fine. They should be. Tristan Keys, I knew it was a good chance he wasn't gonna stay committed, bro.
Right. Yeah, I ain't surprised at all. Matter of fact, when it came through, I'm like, yeah, well, at least it's over with now. At least you got you didn't have to wait last minute and you go ahead and spoil the suspense. All right, before we out here, Floby says DBU's back. That's Floby's best take of the week right here. DBU's back. Shout out C-Ray, man. Come on. In the lab, Bayou Bandits, everything, G. Want to know. LA Tech this weekend. You coming to the game?
For sure.
We're going to have a post-game show for y'all then Sunday. Stay tuned. We'll be live again Wednesday at 1 p.m. as per usual. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. We had a nice active stream. Hit that thumbs up on the way out. You can't leave the stream until you hit the thumbs up. I don't know why. YouTube told me that. They said you're not going to be able to get out the app, G. Everybody got to hit a thumbs up if they want to get out the stream. If not, they phone going to be stuck on the stream. That's it. I don't know what to do. Subscribe. Follow my guy, G. All the links in the description. Appreciate your time. Y'all have a good day.